Just woken up. It's on March the 29th, and it's the first day that we've been allowed to go flying for 3 months, and I can't wait, and I'm very excited. So I will, first of all, not wake the children up, otherwise I'll be very unpopular. Just gonna sort a few things out at home first this morning, and then get myself showered and dressed and up to the airfield. Very excited. I've checked out all my currency, the plane I've checked out, and today, because neither me nor the plane has flown for a few months, it's just going to be a very, very simple local flight, staying close to the airfield. Make sure there are no problems with the plane, make sure there are no problems with me, and just get back into the swing of things. Planning to do lots more flying soon, both for work and pleasure. On my way up to the airfield now. Not looking beautifully flyable yet. Morning, Brendan. How you doing? Yeah, good, thanks. The aerodrome isn't officially open yet at Dunkeswell. It's still no time to close, so I'm popping over to see the aerodrome owner to make sure I got permission for today's flight. So, got the green light, we're allowed to fly. Permission from the owner of the airfield. Although it's still pretty grim up there, but it's forecast to clear, so got some faffing to do. Going to be trying to set up GoPro cameras in the plane so I can record this flight with the audio for the first time, which is very exciting. Really exciting, actually. It's the first time I've ever managed to record myself flying with audio, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, there he is. I'm going to get him out and get him ready. So this tyre looked a little bit low to me this morning, just a little bit low visually. It's supposed to be 42 psi and it's 37. This here, which needs to come off today, is quite simply a bag of desiccant, which my engineer advised me during lockdown to put it on there to keep any moisture out of the air in the engine. So that's been on there for 3 months. Very, very simple device. Hopefully it's made a difference. So I finally found a device that will record audio. This splitter that I got from Flight Store for 40 quid with a single audio jack that goes into, I've got a Sony MP3 recorder, and did a test yesterday, and after years of trying to record cockpit audio, I finally got it. Look at the dirt that came off the windscreen. Okay, just getting final preparations ready for my first flight since lockdown. Just a local flight from Dunkeswell. The weather is just beginning to clear up, so it's forecast to improve and become clear blue sky, cav okay. So I was going to run through my all flights planning checklist very quickly, which is a checklist I put together myself to make sure I never forget anything. I'm always adding to it. Reading glasses and sunglasses and prescription sunglasses. I don't actually need them, but they're there as a backup, but I've always got them on the plane and I've got them down there in my pocket. I've got 3 pairs. My headset. I actually haven't got the headsets in the car, but I'll get it in a minute. I have bought drinks and food today. I've got my pilot bag, which is here, and it's got my license and medical in it, which I checked yesterday. I'm safe, really important check. So no, I'm not ill. I'm not on any medication. I'm thankfully not suffering from any unmanageable stress at the moment. No alcohol, no fatigue today. Feeling a bit better than I have for a few days, tired-wise, and no emotion that would impact my flying. So I passed the I'm safe checklist. This is a checklist of devices, right? So things that I like to take on my flight. So my SkyEcho is that one. I've got it. GLONASS GPS receiver is in my flight bag. It's my backup one. Handheld radio, check. PLB in reach, check. USB power bank is in that bag there, my filming kit. iPad, check. iPhone, yes. GoPro, yes. Bose headset ×2, yes, they're in the bag. Head torch ×2, I have one always up there, and one in my flight bag as a backup, although I won't need those today. And tyre pump, which I've already used today, and I got that with me as well. So, departure airfield, NOTAMs I've checked. It's Dunkerswell is NOTAMs closed. NOTAM closed, but I have had a conversation this morning with the airfield owner, and he's happy for me to do flight, so I've got permission to do that. Yeah, I've got it's my home airfield, so my radio ATC Natus. The weather is improving all the time, and it's forecast to keep on getting better. Ceilings are a little bit low, but they're clearing up, and the wind direction at the moment is pretty much straight down runway 22. Runway length is about 10 times longer than I need to take off in this plane, but that is still something I like to check for my departure airfield. Density altitude, not a problem, although Dunkerswell is, believe it or not, the highest tarmacked runway in the UK at 800 and I think it's 39 feet elevation. But not a problem for me today.
Dunkerswell ready, go Bravo Juliet Echo Victor radio check. Okay, so now tell you what I can hear you okay. Hear you as well, Roger.
Not arrival airfield I can skip completely because I'm not going anywhere else. It's an A to A flight. My alternate airfield to Dunkerswell is Exeter if I ever need one. There's no en route weather. I have checked the weather on SkyDemon. So at the moment SkyDemon is saying not flyable here, and I can kind of see why. But at Exeter Airport they've got VFR conditions. NOTAMs I have checked. Altitude level. I'm planning to fly initially to around about 3,000 feet and then to climb up to 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 feet. And I'm planning to do a check with my oxygen, my oximeter, my pulse oximeter there. I'm going to be testing my oxygen readings at 1,000 feet intervals as I go up, making a note of them. And the only airspace to be aware of is at 6,500 feet. There is an airway over Exeter Airport, but I won't go anywhere near that. No flight plan today, although normally I would. I've already done fuel. Lights I've checked, oil I've checked, windscreen I've cleaned, tyres I've checked and pumped up. I've got my eyewear checked, my cargo secure, and all those others are checked as well. Fire extinguisher, yes. And high-vis vez I won't need today. Carbon monoxide alarm, yes, down there. Control lock I've taken out, and pre-startup checklist I will do. So there we are, we're getting ready to go. Well, here it is, the moment a lot of us have been waiting for since lockdown began. March 29th, and the plane is all checked out, and I think I'm all checked out, and my paperwork's all checked out, and I'm about to go up for a local flight from Dunkerswell, and I'm going to be recording it I've got a couple of cameras up there, GoPro, iPhone, so 3 angles, and then I'll be using this as a handheld, and recording on the audio recorder. Clear, Pro!
Echo Victor, where are you? Climbing out, and steering to turn crosswinds.
Not bad. First time we started in 3 months, starts just like that. Pretty happy with that.
And that's just close to 9 o'clock below you.
Dunkerswell Radio, November 1320 Sierra, radio check please. Roger, only reading you about 3. And we are off! I'm not going to be paying much attention to the recording. I'm just going to be flying today mostly. There's a bit of condensation in this. These dials only haven't flown for a while, so it's really good to get the engine.
Tango rolling 2-2.
Get the engine warmed up, get the whole thing warmed up, and get it all dried out. Brakes good, rudder's good, turn coordinator is good. 777 Mike Delta is Charlie and 20 Sierra reading your 5s.
Reading 5 also, thanks.
Lots of aeroplanes coming out of the hangars today. My excitement is equalled only by my nerves today, but they're healthy nerves, positive nerves. So we are on runway 22. We are crossing runway 17. A few more little fiddly bits to sort out in the cockpit before we can take off. While the engine's warming up. I'm going to adjust my seat. SkyDemon is coming to life now.
Dunk's traffic electricity 16, EC135 engine ready to start now on the helipad.
That's the electricity helicopter about to start up after its refueling. There it is. Right, we're going to do a power check. RPM. Magnetors check. Left. Right. Prop cycle. That cold oil in the prop governor. Loosen it up, get it flying around. One more, checking the oil pressure moves this time. Prop cycled. Greens, greens, greens.
And November 777
check.
Mike Delta is going to line up for departure for local flights.
Suction. Okay. Radios are set. Autopilot is off. Flashing beacon, nav and strobe. Throttle friction is good. Parking brake.
Golf Sierra Tango, turning left base 22.
20 Sierra, rolling, runway 22.
Golf Oscar Foxtrot, 22 vacated.
Watch the birdies.
Golf Victor Bravo, final, runway 22.
Manifold pressure back to 24. And prop back. 24.
Down as well, traffic electricity 16, EC135 lifting now from helipad for a helicopter departure to the north, remaining clear of 22. Down as well.
Keep it at 23, 24 for the climb. 3,000 feet now above sea level. SkyDemon is not getting any location data from the SkyEcho 2. Getting very, very limited. So all these little niggles are good to get sorted out before you do your first cross-country trip. Because I don't really need SkyDemon when I'm just flying locally and visually with the airfield. Not a bad day for the first day up. There's SkyDemon having problems. Somebody taught me that when you want to level off at 5,000, don't start leveling off before. Get up to about 5,100 or 200 and then start leveling off and settle down at 5,000. Let's try that out and see if that works. Right, still climbing through 5,000. Start trimming. Now that we don't need that fuel lubricating or cooling cylinders as much as we're not climbing. But at least I've got my true, it's always a good way to have a backup. The thing I always forget when I haven't flown for a while is just how much is going on, how many different things you got going on. On this flight, I haven't got to worry about my nav, I'm just keeping Dunkeswell Airfield in sight, it's right down there. It is a beautiful day up here. A disused airfield down there with such a waste of space. There's a banger racing circuit at the far end, but the rest of it's just wasted. Well, I'm going to keep an eye on my oxygen as I climb higher as well. Just a gentle cruise climb. Nothing too strenuous for me or the plane today. T's and P's all good. Still holding 2323, coming up to 6,000, but we are now tracking away from that Class A airspace. Look at that view. I've also got my location on here, so keeping well clear of Exeter and the airway. Turning round to the east. Dunk as well, I think is... Yeah, there's Dunk as well.
Golf Sierra Tango leaving the
That
to the east.
is another disused runway. There's so many runways. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 runways, all close to each other. All used to be active during the Second World War. That's got a solar panel farm on it. But all the runways look still completely usable. See that? Below me? Check that out. That's so cool. That's one of those huge RAF Airbuses. A400M I think it's called. I'm going to go wide to the west of Dunk as well. And pass it to the south and then join long downwind for runway 22. So that's where we'll be landing. We'll be landing on that runway that's parallel to us now, left to right. We're going to come join at the far side of the downwind leg. Land on runway 22, taxi back to the hangar. 20 Sierra, I'm actually crosswind now for runway 22. Turning downwind shortly. Okay, brakes are off, undercarriage down and fixed. Wheels up for water, gear down for ground. Get down to circuit height and then slow down. We're doing 150 knots actually. Slow it down. 20 Sierra, turning base for runway 22. Fuel on both. Power flaps open. Prop full forward. Mixture rich. And airspeed now in the arc. 10 degrees flaps. Landing lights on. Autopilot off. Car flaps open, fuel on both. Flaps 20. November 20 Sierra, turning final, runway 22. Okay, not race straight approach yet, but good approach speed. Reds, greens, blues. 75 knots. 60 knots over the fence. Flaps 20, which is what I use unless it's very, very short field. We're 70 knots now. Equalize. Tiny bit of power. Knots over the fence. 5. Was not my finest landing.
Sierra Tango is 3 miles to the northeast. Request joining information.
Right, I'm going to taxi back to the hangar. I'm very glad I got that on video because I can re-watch that back and find out what I did so badly wrong. That was a terrible landing. I had side load on the tyres. Well, that's blowing the cobwebs out. Beautiful day for it. Very glad I did that because that...
Tango base for runway 22 left hand.
That was rusty. Takeoff was fine. Landing was not. Didn't forget anything. It was just not a great landing. And there we go. Thanks for coming with me on that flight, everybody, if you watch this. And feel free to point out all of my mistakes and everything you'd have done differently in the comments below if you want to. All feedback gratefully received as long as it's constructive.
A little bit of pressurization that side, not much. My fuel tanks are pressurizing a bit. Not the end of the world, but ooh, yuck. Needs a wash. Put that under there. Shameless plug. Rusty is the word I would use, as expected. Not too bad. On the takeoff run, I became completely distracted by the flock of crows that was flying across the runway. And so I didn't do any of the usual checks I would do going down the runway. I didn't check the airspeed, I didn't check the T's and P's. I just flew the plane. Climbing out, I didn't put the flaps away for ages. I completely forgot. I climbed up to 1,000 feet, turned downwind, and only then remembered that the flaps are still out, 10 degrees flaps. So that was rusty and bad. Not disastrous, not dangerous. And I only realised when I thought, plane should be going faster than this and must be draggy. And then I thought, oh, I've got to put the flaps away. In my mind, I was going to be doing circuits and then a spiral up over the airfield and staying in the wide overhead range of the airfield, which I pretty much did. And I was conscious of the Class A airspace at 6,500 feet. Probably impatience, and it wasn't a problem. So, yeah, could have planned my flight better. Not from an airspace point of view, because I was very conscious of the airspace around us. On reflection, I stayed on Dunkersville radio the whole time, and I think I said it's because I wanted to make sure I was I had very high awareness of all the aircraft movements on the airfield in case I needed to come back down unexpectedly for any reason. But as you will have seen, that huge military, I know it looks small in the picture, but my God, those things are big. Big military A400M, I think it was, thing with a huge T-tail, flew underneath me. I mean, I was at 7,000 feet at that point. 6,000 or 7,000 feet, so we had 5,000 foot separation, but I suspect that Exeter radar might have liked more than just a 7,000 squawk and to actually talk to me. But next time I will definitely talk to Exeter. I really should have done that. Flying back to the airfield, I mean, my flying itself was fine, I think. I didn't feel like the flying around once I got the flaps away and I got the plane trimmed up. Nicely. I didn't use any autopilot, I hand flew the plane the whole way. Did a bit of practice turning just with the rudder, which I think is always good. My approach back into the airfield is suboptimal. I mean, yes, I knew that there were no gliders at the gliding site. Yes, I had full visual with the runway and the runway departure, but nevertheless, I crossed the departure center line of the runway at about 3,000 feet. And had there been anyone that I hadn't seen, I would have been in their way. In order to get me on my downwind leg. I then rushed the downwind leg. I was still descending on long downwind. So my airspeed got right up to 150 knots. So I went pelting down the downwind leg faster than I could have or should have. Didn't give myself time to really get the plane set up nicely. So although it felt under control, and I realised I was late downwind and I didn't get the flaps out until the base leg because I hadn't slowed down enough until base leg. It was rushed. It was sloppy, honestly. My approach was okay, but not great. It was a bit of a short approach, curling around on final. I don't think I paid attention to the fact that there was a little bit of a crosswind, which I think is why my landing was messy, sloppy, ugly, didn't like it. I mean, it wasn't bad, but on a scale of 1 to 10, where a 10 is a perfect greaser and a 1 is the worst landing you can walk away from without bending the airplane, I'd probably have that one at a 4 or a 5 out of 10, that landing. So yeah, I mean, as expected, rusty as hell. I've got sessions booked with instructors in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm glad that I've done this because I'd much rather get the real rusty cobwebs blown out now. Nice, safe, cav-OK day, plenty of time, than be, paying an instructor when I'm still basically doing the absolute basics that I can sort out for myself. So for me personally, I mean, my personal minima, I was fine. In terms of my currency, according to Gasco's estimation, you have to have at least 10 hours in the last 6 months. I had 12, and at least 15 or 20 landings. I had 23 landings, I think. So I was current from that point of view, and I took my time. I've been mentally preparing for a few days, watching a few other videos like John, the flying reporter, watched his video. But that, nevertheless, was a very constructive exercise. I now know what to focus on next time, and I want to do at least one more solo flight and get much tidier before I then get in with an instructor to start doing some more advanced stuff. I really hope you enjoyed my first videoed flight with cockpit audio. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do give me all the feedback. I don't mind brutal feedback as long as it's constructive. I just ignore anything else. Anything that's just snipey and a little bit sad and pathetic, I just disregard it. But if it's harsh feedback but sent with constructive purpose, fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. It can only help. I'm rambling, so I'm going to shut up. Thank you for watching my first flying vlog, and safe and happy flying to all of you. Remember to check your personal minimums, and enjoy your flying. See you soon. See you on the next one, hopefully. Bye.